Afternoon, welcome to Teleislas News, the most relevant and important information of the day. In an interview with Teleislas News, Carolina's director disclosed that they are permanently following the reconstruction of Full Providence due to some environmental problems that are present in the homes that have been delivered.
The director stated that since the Hurricane Iota emergency arose, they have been permanently following Findeter's actions regarding the reconstruction of Providence. He emphasized that they have multiple requests for environmental and sanitary problems that have arisen.
Carolina Corporation has been developing actions from the very beginning. After Hurricane Iota on December 16th, we made the first requirements to the entities and to those responsible for the reconstruction process. We have to take into account that in these events, there are phases, and we have already passed the debris phase and we are in reconstruction phase, which corresponds to the corporation and is supported by everything we have done, such as preventive measures and reports delivered to the mayor's office and Findeter. And in this way, we were able to present a proposal to declare Old Providence an environmental sanitary emergency, since we knew that as things were progressing, there will be problems of dumping and basic sanitation in the future.
The corporation has already initiated the sanction process since they have failed to comply with the multiple requirements of the issue and the reconstruction of septic tanks.
We have the statistics. We have followed up on more than 100 new houses in Old Providence with septic tanks, some inhabited and others not, where within 3 or 4 days after being delivered and inhabited, the septic tank overflow begins, the discharge begins. That is why we have requested the suspension of this construction. Since February, we have been requesting the suspension of the construction, including the requirements we have given since December 2020, and not only on dumping issues, but also on solid waste issues. Even when the collection point at the old fireman station collapsed, we made requirements, and with the reports, we were able to declare the emergency. But when we saw that they started to act and there was a change, it was proposed to stop that emergency, but the corporation proposed the sanitary and environmental emergency.
The director of the corporation stated that according to the entities in charge of the construction, these septic tanks comply with all the measures. However, in practice and seeing all the problems they have had, it cannot be established that they are optimal. He also emphasized that they have never shared the complete project to the corporation as environmental authority in order to authorize the construction in environmental terms.
Six boats were intercepted over the weekend with Venezuelan migrants who would be taken to Central America to after arrive in the United States, leaving once again in evidence that the archipelago is being used as a route to cross migrants.
¿Me podrían indicar cuántos ciudadanos pasajeros vienen en esta nave?
Again, San Andres is taken as a route to cross migrants to Central America, as evidenced in videos where Venezuelan nationals exposed their lives to reach their destination. On this occasion, the authorities intercepted 6 boats that were moving in areas and times not allowed for navigation on the island of San Andres, which were carrying 58 illegal immigrants bound for Nicaragua. The operation was conducted in the early hours of Saturday morning in a joint work of the National Navy, Judicial Police of Migration Colombia, the CTI, and the Attorney General's Office, in addition to the support group of the United States. This shows that the archipelago is being used as a migrant smuggling corridor, as in the last month, the authorities have been able to detect boats with more than 200 migrants. It is noteworthy that in the operation, 9 Colombians were captured and presented before a judge of control of guarantees. The boats were seized by the National Navy, and the illegal migrants were subject to deportation proceedings by the Migration Regional Office in San Andres, and humanitarian aid was also provided to them. It should also be noted that most of the boats used by criminal organizations are in a precarious state and do not have navigational instruments.
The community is in expectation for the appearance of the boat in which apparently 3 islanders from the island who had been reported missing about a week ago had sailed. The boat was apparently found by Costa Rican fishermen with a family of 7 Venezuelans on board.
Teleislas News learned that in the early hours of yesterday morning, the boat in which 3 island fishermen led the island on Monday, August 8, apparently headed for Central America, was found. The boat, under the name of Wave 22, carrying a family of Venezuelans, including 2 minors, was found in the Venezuelan fishermen after being adrift on high seas for 6 days. An image circulating on social media, members of the Venezuela family can be seen in good conditions. However, no photos or image have been recorded to show the conditions of the 3 islanders. There are still no details of what may have happened to them, only that they were found alive in Costa Rican waters and were taken to dry land, where they were given medical attention for sunburn and dehydration. Apparently, the crew members are Ramon Pineda Gonzalez, San Andres seaman; Luis Daniel Gomez, sailor from San Andres; Rodolfo Correa, sailor from San Andres. When Teleislas News consulted with the port captaincy for information of the condition of the Colombians, they stated that they had not received any formal notifications about the discovery. Likewise, this news agency tried on several occasions to consult the Colombian immigration authorities, but up to the beginning of this broadcast, it was not possible to obtain response.
Attention for all those interested in the academic offerings of the SENA. The regional branch in San Andres will open in the coming days 16 classroom training programs.
The regional SENA in San Andres opens a new call for 16 classroom training programs aimed at the entire island community of the department. Registrations will be open to all interested parties from August 18th through the 25th.
Tenemos 16 ofertas abiertas que no.
We have 16 academic offers open to the community of San Andres, 405 openings, and this is very significant because it allows our academic community later on in the training chain that SENA offers to be linked to the agreements we have with 35 universities. Within our offer, we have a variety of training in the health sector. Among them is the nursing technician. We have public health, aquatic rescue in confined waters, which is aimed at people who want to be lifeguards or who require accreditation. We have operators courses. We have a high demand for bakers, and we do not have trained bakers.
Those interested in knowing details about the 405 vacancies and 16 programs offered may approach the entity, which informs that this class seeks the labor demand of professionals trained in areas such as mechanics, cooking, and tourism.
The remainder of August, September, and October will see more rainfall in Colombia, according to the analysis of climate prediction models of the Institute of Hydrology, Meteorology, and Environmental Studies.
In the second period, high rainfall of up to 50% above normal will probably occur in some sector of the Andean and Caribbean regions, with October being the rainiest month in Colombia. The country has been under the influence of the La Niña phenomenon since 2020, an atypical situation that the country has been facing. For this reason, it is highly probable that this phenomenon will continue to have an impact on soil saturation.
Hoy estamos alertando al país.
Today we are alerting the country that it is already 80% probable that the phenomenon known as La Niña will continue throughout the second semester of 2022. It is La Niña that has been accumulating effect since 2020. For that reason, we have major rivers of the country presenting high levels. We also have saturated soils that can generate landslides and rainfall that can be between 20 and 50% above normal at some points. So with this alert, we call for the activation of the all response and prevention plans of the National Risk Management System.
The Ministry of Environment and INDEAM recommend that local and departmental committees for disaster risk management and all environmental authorities follow this permanent attention, the reports and warning to prevent risk situation.
In other news, the religious community of a sector led a cleanup day in the Back Road neighborhood in order to clear the sidewalk, which was full of waste.
Around 7 a.m., religious leaders and members of a church located in the Back Road sector carried out a cleaning day, managing to remove a large percentage of debris from the sidewalks that were causing pollutions.
Today we all met here at the church because we saw the need, and we invite the community not to throw any more garbage here since it was becoming a dumpster. So the invitation to the community of the Back Road sector is not to throw garbage. Look how it looks nice now.
The inhabitants make a call to the community in general to have a sense of belonging and to avoid throwing garbage on the sidewalks, which makes them unusable for pedestrians.
Bueno, es una enseñanza.
This is a teaching that we have in the church. First of all, as Christians, we must set a good example in society. So we are inviting everyone to make good use of the sidewalk. We cannot continue to misuse its space, placing garbage and vehicles. We humbly invite you on behalf of the church to support this work. If you see a vacant lot, do not do this damage by throwing garbage because you are polluting the environment. It brings bad odors. It brings contamination.
The place that was completely full of waste was left totally clean and with a big sign saying not to throw waste. It is hoped that the community will not throw waste at the site again.
Como ministro de esta iglesia, líder, convoqué a los hermanos.
As a minister of this church, I organized this campaign. We feel that this island is part of us and we love this place. Look at the difference. It looks beautiful. It looks nice. Let's have a sense of belonging and let's put the garbage where it must go, where the collection truck will pick it up. If we all do it, we will avoid so much garbage in the streets.
This cleaning day was supported by the Secretariat of Public Services, who collected the waste and moved it to the Green Point. On the other hand, inhabitants expressed their concern about the tree in bad conditions, stated that they have informed the competent authority and that they hope that they will do the respective procedure as soon as possible.
And now let's get to know other facts that today are making news in our brief news section.
The Ministry of National Education and El Bosque University, in conjunction with the Secretariat of Education, held the first learning cycle for the strengthening of technical capacity in the framework of the Evaluate to Advance strategy, which was attended by 45 teachers of early education, first and second, of the official educational institutions of the island. During the activity, teachers learned about topics such as pedagogical planning, taking into account the context, needs, concerns, particular characteristics and interests of children and their families, thus strengthening the development and learning processes. In order to raise awareness in the community about the importance of parrotfish for the ecosystem of the archipelago, the Seaflower Environmental Educational Team of the Coralina Corporation held a craft workshop with students from the Industrial Educational Institution, where they made several parrotfish with recyclable materials and painted them as part of the awareness campaign about this important species. In Old Providence, the Environmental Protection Group of the National Police conducted a vaccination campaign against rabies for canines and felines in different sectors of the island. The purpose of the activity was to preserve the life and welfare of domestic species.
And now it's time for sport news with Victor Fusalva.
Hello, here are the best sports of the island. And this time with a very important race, an international race that was carried on in the streets of San Andres. With the participation of more than 1,000 national and international athletes, the 13th edition of the Great Athletic Competition was held in San Andres. The race counted with the different modalities in the male and female categories, where 32 kilometers, 10 kilometers and 5 kilometers were run. It was a well-organized event that had the support of the departmental government. The event also had the participation of local athletes who made a great presentation of our island department. One of them is Sue Archibald, who told us more details.
Well, the experience was a beautiful experience here, so running San Andres with a lot of people. Everybody tried to throw the trash, feed the water in the basket. Everybody say hello to you, say something good. The day today was a beautiful day with rain. Everything come out fabulous. Well, when you finish, you got like a little bit more energy and you can do a little bit more what you believe. You start to run a little bit more fast. fast and like an explosion. You get emotion, I can't describe it. It's something like the happiness where you feel because you run 3 hours and one time you get is like, oof, finally I get. The exercise is something good. In good because in health, for the health of your body and just the health, not just your health, in help you like person because in working at your life, your heart, it's like a person where you can think and get patient and get what you want and do the things good with your heart.
Competitors and athletics fans were happy, highlighting once again that San Andres is a great scenario for this type of international events, as stated by Sue Archibald. And on the other side, a very important softball game that was carried on between the Sharks and the Risals, looking to go to the finals. Softball reached its semi-final phase in the Veterans Tournament, where the Risals team faces the Sharks, each one looking for their classification to the grand final against the Aquarium team, who are already classified and awaiting for the final phase. In this series, whoever wins 2 out of 3 will advance to the finals. We talked with John Alford, a player of the Risal team, who told us.
We're playing a pre-playoff. 2 out of 3 game with the Shark team. Who beat this game? We're gonna play the final with Aquarium. Everybody know the Aquarium team like Pepe team, so we'll right here with them by everyone to come with us, enjoy this very good sport, enjoy with the family and friends. So when you come down and enjoy with man. When the family and friends come, well, you really feel good. You really feel good, you know. When you come and you play, you see your public, you know, you want to do the best. You want to do the best effort in the game, play good with respect and everything, you know. That is the first thing.
An exciting first game of this semi-final phase that managed to win the Risals to take the lead 1-0. The second game will be this weekend, where the attendance of the fans and softball is expected. And this will be all in sports for the moment. I am Victor Fusalba, Teleislas News.
Thank you, Victor. With sport news, you reach to the end of our broadcast. We see you tonight with more of Teleislas News. Good afternoon.